Hello, my name's Annabelle Daniel and I'm the Chief Executive of Women's Community Shelters, and it has been an incredibly busy month. First of all, it's May. May is always Domestic and Family Violence Prevention Month, and over the course of the last month we have had an incredible focus and national conversation about domestic, family and sexual violence against women. It's been heartening to see that governments, state and federal, have responded to the calls which have come from the grassroots and victim survivors to treat the national crisis of violence against women with the intensity that it requires. I still think that there's a few things missing in some of those announcements. Firstly, at the federal level, there's been no ongoing commitment to supporting services on the front lines and at the grassroots. There are some payments which are available to victim survivors, but they actually take a lot of red tape to access them, and many women can't unless they get the assistance of services like ours. And if we're not supported to actually help women access the payments, they won't be able to obtain them. In other news, the New South Wales government committed $230 million to a variety of initiatives across the state, including putting more children's workers in shelters and refuges, which is very, very welcome, and also included a program called Staying Home, Leaving Violence for expansion, which can help women to stay safe in their own homes if it is indeed safe for them to stay there. What was missing from the announcements was a really significant investment in crisis and transitional and social and affordable housing, because we know that for women and children, domestic and family violence is the primary cause of why they become homeless in the first place. And so in order to truly and meaningfully address domestic and family violence, we need to have that conversation and that investment in housing and homelessness as well. Now, that's something we very much hope to see in the form of an announcement ahead of the New South Wales budget in June. Also, there were some announcements at the federal level about that investment as well. But we also know it takes a long time to build housing, and we need to work on solutions on the ground right now. Women's Community Shelters is at the forefront of developing those really innovative solutions with things like our meanwhile use properties, Mossman and Alloa House, for example, and also working with communities to develop those solutions that we can activate immediately. And we need your support to do that right now. Last year, we had an increase in the number of women and children that we had to turn away by 92%. Even though we increased the number of safe beds we were providing by 30%. And that tells you the depth of the need that's out there right now. So in order to address this crisis, we need everybody on board to support it. So if you choose to donate to Women's Community Shelters this end of financial year, we can guarantee you we'll be making more safe beds with your investment. One of the most exciting things that Women's Community Shelters has done in May is to travel to the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria, where we're working on establishing our very first shelter outside New South Wales. And very hearteningly, we had the best turnout to a community forum that we've ever had in Women's Community Shelters history when we held it at Rosebud Secondary College on a Wednesday night a couple of weeks ago. Over 160 members of the community came out keen to help establish the shelter, and that is very, very heartening. We know that wherever we establish a shelter, women and children will be putting themselves on a wait list before we've even opened the doors. If you're interested in this project, I'd encourage you to check out the information down below and support us in any way that you can. We'd love to have a shelter open within the next 12 months. Over the course of the last month, with heightened awareness around domestic, family and sexual violence, I've had the opportunity to do a lot of advocacy, not just for Women's Community Shelters, but also Domestic Violence New South Wales, which is the peak body for domestic and family violence services across the state. I have the privilege of chairing that organisation, and we have over 180 members who are doing incredible work statewide. So I'd encourage you to check out the list of media pieces we've done down below. Also give Domestic Violence New South Wales a follow. They're incredibly informative, and we've had a lot to say about government announcements and also about how we all can contribute to solving domestic and family violence in our communities. Today, I'd also love to launch our end of financial year campaign, which features the line, "It's her story, not a news story." And I think that's something that we can all understand is so important. Women's Community Shelters works to create new futures for women and children when they come to our shelters or our transitional housing. We provide intense wraparound support, we help women and children access safety and justice outcomes, and we help work with them towards their goals to build the future that they really want to see for themselves. And that's so important. You can get behind us with your support this end of financial year. And you also have the opportunity to buy a last minute ticket in a wonderful raffle that we have going. So if you're interested in that with a fantastic prize, please check out the links down below as well.